In the future, social media like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, Telegram, and YouTube aren't just apps on your phone anymore, they've taken over real life. People can rate each other, from 1 star being the worst to 5 stars being the best. The government even implants chips in everyone's eyes from a young age so they can see everyone's ratings. These ratings decide everything: where you can eat, where you can work, even who you hang out with. The better someone's rating, the higher their social status. On the flip side, people with lower ratings get pushed aside by society. This woman's name was Lacey. She was a career-driven woman obsessed with boosting her rating, which was currently 4.2. That morning, she told her brother, Ryan, that someone would be coming later to check out their house. Lacey and Ryan lived together in that house, but they had decided to sell their parents' house and go their separate ways because they were both over each other's habits. Lacey couldn't stand seeing her brother play video games all day without working. While Ryan was annoyed by his sister's constant show of fake happiness just to boost her rating. Lacey then checked out a fancy housing development. She wanted to move there once she sold her current house, but she was short on cash. The real estate agent offered her a deal. She'd get a 20% discount if she could boost her rating to 4.5. Lacey was super excited about this. With her friendly attitude, she figured it'd be a breeze to raise her rating. Later, Lacey met with her boss at work. She explained she wanted to buy the house and asked if her boss could write a guarantee letter to the real estate agent, promising that she would get a 4.5 rating soon. But since most of her friends were just pretending, her boss was a bit doubtful. He suggested Lacey should try to befriend people with ratings of 4.5 or higher, because if high-rated people give ratings to others, her friends were likely to follow suit. The next day, Lacey couldn't stop thinking about her boss's advice. She had a childhood friend named Naomi who had a rating of 4.8, but they hadn't talked since Naomi made new friends. Lacey tried to catch Naomi's attention by posting a photo of Mr. Rags, a doll they'd made together. She was happy when Naomi rated the photo, believing that Naomi surely remembered their doll. That night, Naomi called Lacey. Naomi said that seeing the doll photo made her nostalgic about their old times. She also mentioned that she was getting married soon and wanted Lacey to be her maid of honor. Lacey was over the moon. Right away, she came up with a plan to boost her rating. She'd give a heartfelt speech at Naomi's wedding about their childhood, hoping it would move Naomi's friends and get her some high ratings. That morning at the office, Lacey told her boss about the guest list for Naomi's wedding, which was full of people with ratings over 4.5. Because of that list, her boss agreed to back her up. The next day, before heading to Naomi's wedding, Lacey practiced her speech. Watching Lacey fake tears again, Ryan got frustrated. He advised her not to be so obsessed with ratings and said he'd rather see her live authentically than beg for ratings from others. But Lacey just thought her brother was jealous. Upset, she left him behind and went on her way. In the taxi, Lacey got a call from Naomi. They were chatting so loudly that the driver got annoyed. When they got to the airport, the driver gave Lacey a bad rating. But she didn't care too much. She thought a taxi driver's rating wasn't a big deal. At the airport, she found out her flight was cancelled because of an accident. Lacey started to panic and asked for another flight, but since her rating had dropped because of the taxi driver, she was actually banned from flying. In her frustration, she snapped at the airport staff with some harsh words. Security overheard and knocked her rating down to 3.1. Seeing her rating drop drastically, Lacey was still confident. She was sure her speech at Naomi's wedding would impress everyone and get her some high ratings. She decided to rent a car instead, but because of her low rating, she got stuck with a crappy one and was treated poorly. With no other options, she went ahead and rented it. After a long drive, Lacey's electric car ran out of battery. When she tried to charge it, she found that none of the plugs matched her car's adapter. So, she had to leave the car and find a ride. Out of all the cars around, only a truck offered her a lift. The truck driver was an older woman named Susan with a rating of 1.4. During the ride, Susan talked about how she used to have a rating of 4.6. She said she always tried to be nice to everyone to keep her rating high, but everything changed when her husband got cancer. Because of his low rating, no hospitals would take him in. Susan got so mad that she yelled at everyone at the hospitals. After that, she stopped caring about ratings. For her, being honest and true to herself was way better than pretending to be happy just to keep up a rating. She suggested Lacey try being honest too. But Lacey wasn't interested. To her, living a lie was worth it if it meant getting access to fancy facilities rather than being honest and stuck with just the basics. The next day, at a gas station, they went their separate ways since they were headed in different directions. While Lacey was in the public restroom, she overheard two women talking about a concert near Naomi's wedding venue. Lacey got an idea and asked one of the women for a ride, saying her car had broken down on the way to the concert. The women felt sorry for her and agreed to give her a lift with their friends. While they were driving, Naomi called Lacey again. Naomi told her not to come to the wedding because she knew Lacey's rating had dropped to 2.6. Naomi didn't want her guests to know she had a friend with such a low rating. Lacey was heartbroken. After everything she'd been through to get to Naomi's wedding, now she was being told she couldn't come just because her rating was low. Upset, Lacey said she was coming no matter what. Naomi didn't listen and just hung up. The people in the car caught wind of Lacey's lie and kicked her out. On the road, no one was willing to give Lacey a ride. Feeling fed up, Lacey saw two guys riding an ATV and begged them to let her borrow it. One of the guys, feeling sorry for her, agreed. After a long, muddy ride with her makeup all over the place, Lacey finally made it to Naomi's wedding. She snuck in and went straight to the front to speak. Instead of giving the speech she'd prepared, Lacey spilled her guts. She confessed that she'd always been jealous of Naomi's beauty. Back in school, she even put up with being bullied just to hang out with Naomi's group. She never got angry when Naomi stole her boyfriend and always stayed patient, hoping she'd become as popular as Naomi if she stuck around. But now that Naomi was friends with high-rated people, she'd completely cut Lacey off. Naomi had left her behind. Lacey knew Naomi had only asked her to be a bridesmaid because she wanted someone to talk about how great she used to be. In the middle of her speech, security officers came and took her away. Before she was led out, she told everyone that no matter what had happened, she'd always think of Naomi as her friend. They took Lacey to the police station. As punishment for causing a scene, they removed the chip from her eye and put her in a cell. For the first time ever, Lacey could see clearly without the chip blocking her view. She noticed a man in front of her cell who was also locked up. She started yelling at him with all sorts of insults, even though he hadn't done anything. The guy, pissed off by this, fired back with insults of his own. They continued to curse each other out, finally letting out their true feelings without having to pretend to be happy. Subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, take care and see you in the next video.